2 weeks ago, this influencer on this app did that Netflix trend that come into a space like this, with the cameras, and then you sit down and you say, preparing for my Netflix doc about whatever. Most people did silly stuff that wouldn't really be worthy of a Netflix doc, but some people did serious stuff. And it would be written, the caption, and she did write about her ex, discovering her ex is a pedophile. And it went viral. And he also had a big following here on TikTok. He was, a TikToker as well as being a coach. And the little bit of discovery that I've done here, it appears that she had great evidence to believe this was true. He had not been arrested. He was a coach of young girls in sports, and this child was only 15, the alleged victim. She separated from him. She obtained a restraining order, a temporary restraining order. From what I can tell, they were together as recent as Memorial Day. So, she discovered it somewhere in there, got the restraining order, and about 2 weeks ago did the trend. He had a huge following and he went private just before this tragedy happened. And the tragedy is he went to her house last night and shot her and then himself and one of her children from her previous relationship, I believe like a preteen boy who was not hurt, thank God, physically. He was the one who called the police. And when the police arrived, they were already both deceased. Absolutely devastating. And please pray for her. She, on her name's Sara Gilson, on her TikTok page, after she put out that video, which now has 6.2 million views. I don't know where it was at yesterday, but it was huge and trending. I'm sure it was well over a couple million before he felt driven to do this horrible crime. Obviously, he was mentally ill and a murderer. But she thanked her beautiful friend Courtney for supporting her. And Courtney's put up a GoFundMe. She thanked her followers. And, this is why people say, hey, why don't women come forward sooner? Why don't they speak up? Well, she spoke up in a very public way in which other people can voice their opinions. And I'm sure he lost his mind over that public humiliation. But I have no doubt what she said was true. Otherwise, I don't think he would have reacted like this. Just devastating.
What we're not going to do is victim blame a woman who had her life taken just last night. This is Sarah, who posted this to TikTok on July 11th, saying, waiting on my Netflix documentary about my soon-to-be ex-husband, who I just found out is a pedophile. And now some people are leaving comments saying, she should have just been silent. She shouldn't have posted this. Are you kidding me? We have seen women who stand by their man, who choose silence, and just one of those many examples is Brittany Stapleton, who's married to Josh Stapleton. He has been convicted of numerous horrendous charges that involve children, and she stands by that man. That wasn't going to be Sarah. She chose to use her voice. She chose to use her platform to make it clear that she was not standing by her then husband's behavior, and she had every right to do so. Women do not have to be silent when it comes to men's bad behavior, and Sarah choosing not to be silent should not have meant the end of her life. Sarah choosing not to be silent should not have meant that last night her son had to call 911 after hearing the gunshots that took his mother's life. Sarah did not do anything wrong, and she is not responsible for not being here today. You can see from Sarah's TikTok that she was trying to do all of the right things. She used her voice, which she had a right to do. She was spending time with friends to try to heal. She got a protective order. She was leaving him. She did everything right, and still she is not here. And still some people are blaming her. What happened to her is not her fault. The only person to blame is not Sarah and her using her voice. The person to blame is this piece of shit. Sean, Jeremiah Duffy, Dad Duffy, whatever the hell he went by on TikTok, this one, the one who took Sarah's life before taking his own, the one who I have now received court documents and messages about regarding that child that he assaulted, the child that he was allegedly grooming. Everything about this is his fault. Sara had a right to speak. She used that right, and now some people are using it against her. Less than 24 hours after her life was taken, less than 24 hours after her son had to call 911. I am sure that some of those comments did not come with ill intent, but I hope that some of you that left those comments will see this video and understand why those words are so wrong and why they are victim blaming. It happens in every single case I cover, and I will always speak out against it. Again, Sara did nothing wrong, and she did not have to be silent. I'm proud of her that she wasn't. I want to end this video with the most important part of this case. Rest in peace to Sara. My heart remains with her friends, her loved ones, her family, her clients, everyone who is grieving tonight, everyone who is having to see these comments. They know, as the most important people in Sara's life, that she is not responsible for not being here today. Rest in peace, Sara.
Please watch this. It is an unfortunate and tragic reminder of the fact that men refuse to take accountability for their own actions and feel entitled to women to such a degree that it can end in violent and fatal ways. This is Sara Gilson, also known as Sara Duffy, and this is what her husband, Jeremiah Sean Duffy, did to her. Duffy, who went by Duffy Dad 1 on TikTok, was a youth basketball coach who was accused of having an inappropriate relationship with one of his players by her mom. And he wasn't charged, but when he was accused, he fled. And so his soon-to-be ex-wife, Sara, filed for a restraining order because he, of course, got violent and threatened self-harm. And now he has made their son an orphan. Not a drag queen, not a trans person, just another guy who looks like this, deciding he's entitled to take someone else's life. Listen, men, I encourage you to take accountability for your actions when you do things wrong. But if you choose you're not going to, and you're going to just end things, then don't take someone else with you, because that is about the most cowardly way that you can possibly go. Just wander off into the woods. Go out to sea. Tie an anchor around your waist. Just do it in a way that none of us ever have to think about you again. But leaving your child to grow up without parents is one of the most despicable things that you can do. And I think this is the attitude of too many men today. They have a sense of entitlement and ownership over women to such a degree that they are willing to end lives over it. And I wonder if this still would have happened, and we'll never know if the men in his life had just maybe called out this behavior early on instead of just being his friend and just being a bro. If we could just see men who actually actively call out bad behavior instead of defending and enabling predators and enabling a culture that still to this day, obviously, with evidence, actively harms women. Rest in peace, Sara. And to Sean Duffy, I hope there actually is a hell. And this is Bacon.
Yeah, she's dead. 2 nights ago, he went to her home where her children were and killed her and then killed himself. She did what she was supposed to do. She got a restraining order. I remember when I got a restraining order against my ex-husband when he was threatening my life. They literally told me that they couldn't serve him because they didn't know where he lived. Something similar just happened in Queens the other day. I'm going to put the National Domestic Violence Hotline in the caption, but as a society, we need to be doing more because we're failing women and children.
There is no formula and or guarantee when it comes to keeping your life when it comes to a man. Unfortunately, a lot of them are emotionally unstable, and we have witnessed so many murder suicides this year. So all of the advice that you guys have, it's not going to work. Unfortunately, it's just risky business when you are dealing with somebody who is emotionally unstable. It's not about choosing well. It's not about having a pew pew or, having a weapon and protecting yourself. There is no formula. It is just risky business. So for all of you that are coming online to say that, oh, she shouldn't have exposed him, she would have still had her life. No, she wouldn't have. That man has always had a plan to unalive her. Was he going to do it this soon? Probably not. Did the Netflix documentary trend probably trigger him? Maybe, but he was going to unalive her regardless. And the reason why he was going to unalive her is because she knew his deepest, darkest secret, and he did not want it to be exposed. And because she was exposing his deepest, darkest secret, he was embarrassed. He became emotionally unstable. Hence, he unalived her. And guess what? She did go to the police. And what did the police do? Give her a piece of paper, a protection order. A demented and deranged person is not scared of a piece of paper, especially when somebody's on a mission that he knows that he's also going to take his life. That is not protecting the victim. This justice system, the legal system, it has failed women and children time and time again, all under the guise of a protection order. That protection order is not doing nothing for nobody. The protection order only works if the person that the protection order is out against is actually scared of going to jail. And I believe that if somebody actually has to go out and seek a protection order, they're obviously dealing with somebody whose screws are not tight. So that person is not afraid of death, and that person is not afraid of going to jail. So guess what? The victim is still exposed. That piece of paper is not doing anything for anybody. This is not a case of choosing well. This is not a case of leaving, because she did leave. She did go to the police. She exposed him. She did everything right, and he still unalived her. His plan was always to unalive her. So all the victim blaming and the victim shaming and all this stuff going on in the comment section, it really doesn't make any sense.